Imagine you're taking a nice walk on the seaside, on the coast. You come to a cliff. On the edge of the cliff you find two people. Both of them are ready to jump off the cliff. You think, that is stupid. What are you guys doing? Stop it! You're going to kill yourself. So you approach the two people and you ask them, why are you jumping off that cliff? You're going to kill yourself. And both of them answer and they say, no, we're not going to kill ourselves. And you ask, why not? And these are the answers you're getting. The first fool tells you that he is big into science, and he read up the other day, he read something about something called terminal velocity. So he reckons that if he jumps off the cliff, he's going to reach his terminal velocity and gently float to the bottom of the cliff. The other guy says he is religious and he has this holy book, and in the holy book it tells him that if he jumps off the cliff, benevolent fairies will come and gently carry him to the bottom of the cliff and he will not die. And you know that both of them are talking crap. Now what do you do? In the case of the first guy, the solution is simple. You explain to him how gravity really works and what terminal velocity really is. You explain to him that a mouse has a much greater surface to weight ratio and therefore it will reach a terminal velocity that is non-lethal, but that a human being won't, and it will reach a velocity which is lethal. If they don't believe you, you can take a step further. You can actually create a mannequin which has the same weight and proportions as the man in question, throw it off the cliff and allow him to see for himself how it will fall to bits. But the second guy, nothing you say will make any difference, because you'll fight against his dogma, something that he will never change. Now imagine this scenario. You're coming up to a chasm, and on the edge of the chasm are two people shaking their heads. And you're asking them, what's wrong? And they say, we would like to get to the other side of the chasm, but we can't. You ask them, why not? And the first guy says, well, I'm big into science, and I know that if I try and step off the edge of this chasm, I'll fall to my death because of gravity, and therefore there's no way I can get to the other side. The other guy says, I am a believer, and if I step off the edge of this chasm, I know that malevolent fairies will come and pull me to my death to the bottom of the cliff. Now you know that they can make it to the other side of the chasm. What are you going to tell them? You're going to tell the first guy about bridges and how bridges work and how you can construct a bridge that will span the chasm, and he can then walk across the bridge to the other side. And he will listen to you and he will say, that is a great idea, and he will take it all on board. What will the second guy say? He'll say, there's no point in building a bridge. Even if I built a bridge, if I set a foot off the edge of this chasm, the malevolent fairies will still come and pull me down. That is what my dogma tells me. Think about that for a moment. Think about these two scenarios. Are they silly? Are they contrived? Not in the least. Let's look at some real life examples. Now the first example, the first guy is easy to recognize. He's the guy with a scientific mindset. If you tell him how things work, he'll take it on board. If you suggest how to investigate things, he will go and investigate things. He might even think of ways to investigate things himself. What about the second guy? What about the guy who thinks that he can step off the edge of a cliff and fairies will rescue him? Well, let's look at a real life example. How many people in this day and age have got polio? And why do they have polio? Because their parents have adopted a dogma that says that disease is sent by God. That disease will only afflict those who are not true believers. They don't inoculate themselves against polio, they leave it in the hands of God. They will happily allow their children to run the risk of being infected by that awful disease, because they think that their God will protect them. And even if the children do contract polio, it is all in God's plan. That is not just stupid, that is plain evil. And you can think of the other example just as easily. Just think about the whole hullabaloo about stem cell research. The whole debate around abortion. It all boils down to the same thing, that because of religious dogma, people are not allowed to explore the full realm of possibility due to dogma. That is where fundamentalist, dogmatic belief stands in the way of progress, of prosperity, of anything that is decent and humane. Why should we tolerate that? We cannot tolerate that. Thank you.